Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Crowd Built Garage. Got the Suzuki back up on the lift. Today we're going to focus on pulling out the transmission, the transfer case, drive lines, all the junk that we're not going to need. So since it hasn't really took off yet, my plan right now, and I'll fill you in on it. I got a little diagram I drew on the board next door. But once we get all the junk out we're not going to use, essentially what we're going to do, I'm going to try to source an Expedition 04 and up, mainly because for that truck I kind of want to just swap the motor out instead of dealing with it anymore. So if I can find one with a good engine, bad transmission, bad transfer case, wrecked, I really don't care. As long as the engine's good and the axles are good, that's all I really care about. Because what I plan to do is get rid of this IFS and the solid rear axle and take those out, and I think we have a plan for that on Buddy's K truck, but we'll see how that works out. But basically I'm going to turn this into a little side-by-side like I talked about. So to get my IRS and IFS, have the same axle, same ratio, just from a factory, I'm going to use the Expedition parts. I'll probably build tubular lower control arms that can take a little bit more beating than the stamped metal crap that comes on them. A couple benefits to it. It's going to give me a full-size wheelbase on this thing, or track anyway, so that I can run bigger tires on it. It's already going to have, I believe the one that I found, if I can get the person to answer me, I believe it's already on 33s, which is going to be more than enough for Mayo here. So we'll get full width axles, we'll get higher off the ground. It'll be able to handle the motor I plan on putting in it, which still is looking towards the Chevy 4.3. I don't know if I want to go Vortec or not. I mean, for what's out there, it's probably easier to actually find the Vortec one. The problem is the transfer case on those being electronic. I have to swap it out to a different one, figure out which one's going to work the best to run manual linkage. There's a lot of vacuum stuff that works with those things. It's a whole lot of figuring out, but it's going to be a nightmare. But I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be pretty cool. I'm hoping it's actually going to sit about as high as it is right now, maybe a little bit lower, but the tires will be out farther. I want to build fender flares for it, bumper. Since I broke the headlights, I'm thinking maybe just go with some kind of like a hella lighter, something that I can just put two circular lights in there, build a grill for it that looks somewhat okay, and then stuff that 4.3 in there, make everything work on probably the Chevy's harness. A lot of splicing, a lot of figuring out what wires are what, which a lot of that stuff I'm not going to bore you with, but I will show some of it because it is helpful for people. But as far as this one goes today, I'm going to work on getting the transfer case, the transmission, exhaust, front and rear drive lines out. Hopefully I can get it back on the ground, shove it out the door, get it all cleaned up because there is oil and gunk everywhere. So from there, still have to source a fender unless I can figure out a way to make a front end with the bad fender that I kicked across the shop last time, which I'm guessing that's probably a no-go, but you know, the front of the fender looks pretty good, the back of the fender looks pretty good, so I might be able to do the old Honda trick and put a different front end on that. I don't really know. We're just kind of winging it. So hang out a bit. I'm gonna tear some of this crap out, get it out of the way, do a short wash video, and then I'll take you next door, show you the chart that I made for what I'm gonna build. Hopefully this works out. I'm not sure how the cradles for the suspension mount to the subframe on the Expedition versus how they're going to mount on here. Probably going to be a lot of fabrication. Also, if you're thinking about doing a 4.3 swap in one of these little guys, a lot of people are having to cut the tunnel for the transmission because the transmission is obviously bigger on that other car. I think I'm going to cheat because I want to get a little bit more height out of it anyway, and I'm going to be building rock sliders and whatever else I can to fill the gap. And since the bumper's already off, I'll just have the bumper raised up. And so I think what I'm gonna do is do a body lift on it. I already have a body lift, so that's, you know, on the house. I've had it for probably 15 years and never used it. It's not for this. The pucks is all I really care about. The bolts and stuff I can do. Steering linkages and all that stuff, that's all gonna change anyway. So that's all gonna be kind of as needed as we go along. You know, figure out how we're gonna make the steering work, which to be honest. I'm not really sure. It looks like it comes straight out, so that might not even be an issue. It's just gonna have a little bit more angle, but all in all, it shouldn't be too bad. I'll probably have to, I don't know if I can run the factory power steering or if I can graft the Expedition one to it. But there's other parts on the Expedition that I need for that stupid truck over there anyway. So it's got a bad steering, center link in the steering. First time I drove it, it scared the shit out of me. So we'll get that all dialed in, get that truck gone as soon as I can get somebody to answer me on this stupid car. So you know how the old intergalactic web is. Sometimes people post something 6 years ago and it's still there, doesn't have a time frame, so, or they just don't get back to you, or yeah, I'll meet you, and then they ghost you. So it's just, we're kind of at the mercy of everybody else, but that's okay. We'll find one, we'll get it there. Whether this thing's gonna sit on the side and I work on something else in the meantime, that might be it. I might try to source an S10, get it in here, get the stuff I need off of it, and then get rid of it. Hopefully, as I don't like taking good cars off the road, I'd rather find one that's got body damage. It's not really savable, but is a runner driver. It just looks like hell, you know. So. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to start by getting this thing completely stripped down. New plan. Turns out where the little lift is sitting on the frame rails is definitely blocking where the cross member needs to come down. So, what I'm doing is grabbing my jack, blocking it up, just hold it up underneath the transmission, hope for the best, remove that cross member, and then slide her on down. Now it's not going to go anywhere as good as I think it's going to. Well, the issue I'm having now is the cross member that holds the transmission up. Took a pretty good hit on this corner, probably when all this other damage happened. So it comes out like a channel like that, and the two bolts sit like this. Well, the end of this channel is pushed up over the bolt head. So now I gotta bend it back with no room. It can be brought out as one. that part's done, we're gonna get it outside, get some degreaser on it, spray it down, let it marinate, and we're gonna pressure wash it down. Try to get all the gunk out of it so it's a little cleaner to work on. I'm gonna clean up the shop, and that's gonna be the day. So I'll get you set up and turned around and whatever, and we'll be back with you in just a minute. And here's the before. All the crud and gunk and nasty. We're gonna try to clean that up so it's easier to work on. And start sourcing parts. I'm gonna set you over here where it's not in the rain. So here's a little diagram I drew of Mayo here. I got Mayo sitting right there. Everything in blue is it's kind of what I'm going to add. So far this is just kind of a front idea. So for the bumper and I'll probably build some fender flares if I can't find halfway decent plastic ones, but kind of want to do it out of thin metal, but we'll see how it goes. And it's got a spot for a winch, the roller fair lead there in the front. It'll come out a little ways, enough to house a small winch inside with a winch plate on the bottom. Other than that, I'm not really sure what I want to do to design it, but the back's is gonna match it. And when it comes to the suspension over here, it's gonna be, I have to switch the differential from passenger to driver side, which is why I'm gonna go Chevy engine. As far as the S10 should be on the same side, I believe. I really hope so. I have to really look into that, but I'm pretty sure they come out the same side. Then the lower control arms that I'll build to make sure that whatever springs I put in there comes out level. And then this one right now, it goes above the cross member that's on the body itself. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is either cutting that out and building a new one, a new brace, enough that the transmission pin can get down with it the way that it's designed right now. It's going to be a lot of test fitting in and out, trying to make it work. But you can see I'll have the Expedition, IFS, IRS, and I figure the benefits to it is we'll have full width axles, will be 6 lugs so we can handle the new bigger motor, and then it should, if I go soft enough spring rate, it should flex like a side-by-side so you can just mob up the back hills, not fill it. Alright guys, that's going to do it this week for Crowd Built Garage. We met our goal, we got the transmission, transfer case, drive lines, and exhaust out of it. So next time I'm going to focus on finishing cleaning up the engine bay as far as getting rid of the wiring and the power steering situation. At least get it out of my way so it stops dumping oil on my floor, which is why that pile of stuff is there. And I'm going to look into the body lift, how that's going to work, how long of bolts I got to get, all that jazz. So we'll get that figured out. I got 2 vehicles I got to try to source. I have a line down on both of them. Haven't heard back, so we'll see how that goes. Might have to find a different one. I'm not really sure. Either way, we're in the process. So keep in mind, I only got 1 day a week to really work on this type of stuff. Sometimes I get 2. Generally it could work, but I do have a day off during the week every other week. I won't bore you with that. Either way, we made pretty good progress here on Mayo. Hopefully we're going to get the stuff here that we need to get it built up the way we want it. Start seeing some progress on it now that it's mainly apart, and see what, watch it come up in the air with the new suspension, watch the engine go in the thing, Should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of a headache, but we'll get it done. You know, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments how I did, what you want to see more of, what you don't want to see. Thank you guys for watching the videos. Thank all of you guys for watching the shorts, because that was a lot of views on the last one. I really appreciate it. Anyway, the faster we get this thing growing, the faster these builds can go. Because right now I'm just doing it out of pocket, trying to do it on the cheap, which is kind of nice because it kind of helps you guys see that you guys can do this in your own garage too, and get a lot more done than you think you can. It's just basic tools, you know. The lift, not so much, but I could have done it with Jackson jack stand. This is just, for time's sake, it's great. I used it on my Corvette the other day. I mean, I love that thing. So, but I ultimately want to have a bigger lift in the shop because there's room for it, and we're going to be doing a lot of this stuff hopefully in the near future. So keep in mind, it's still November, so we got Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So take care of yourself, take care of your friends, check in on somebody if they're weighing on your mind. They might check in on you, but answer the call and make the call. You know, it could change everything. So anyway, thank you guys for coming. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.